Timothy J. Longo, Senior Chief of Police for the City of Charlottesville, Virginia. You know, in police work, we're not necessarily constitutional scholars, but we become quite acquainted with what we refer to as constitutional criminal procedures, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment issues. We don't talk enough about the First Amendment, and it's a huge part of what American law enforcement officers do every day. And so we spent this morning talking about not only some basic First Amendment principles, but we also talked about the First Amendment in the context of public employment. We talked about this issue, a very troubling issue in American law enforcement, of contempt of cop. That is, the citizen's right to oppose police action, and the importance of preserving that constitutional right, even under circumstances where it's offensive to the officer. We also talked about the exposure to the officer and to the department when they don't properly understand the First Amendment and its protections, and do a poor job at training and supervising the application of the First Amendment and what officers do every day. And then we talked about another topic that certainly isn't new to American law enforcement, but we're hearing more about as technology continues to emerge, and that's the filming of police officers engaged in public duties. And the importance that every police officer know that it's the right of citizens who are in places where they are lawfully able to be to film public officials engaged in public duties. And the Department of Justice has spoken very clear on what some guidelines are that should be part of police departments' policies in that regard. And so we spent the last 3.5 hours talking about the First Amendment, but specifically how it impacts what cops do every day, because when those things aren't done correctly, they result not only in internal affairs investigations, but they result in costly litigation against the officers and the municipalities.